Today, we're going to answer one of the most popular questions in mountain biking. Do I need a downhill bike? And is a downhill bike really faster than a modern trail bike? We know how capable modern trail bikes are. So is a downhill bike really worth buying? And if so, how much faster is it? So the test, what we're going to do is nice and simple. We're going to choose my most local downhill track, probably the track that I know better than any other track. So therefore I can provide consistency when riding. And what I'm going to do is a timed lap on the downhill machine and a timed lap on the trail bike, and we're going to see which is faster. Place your bets now. Before we dive onto the trail, let's take a quick recap on the bikes themselves and go through the differences so we know exactly what we're playing with. This bike is quite obvious. It's an orange 329. It's the biggest, most travel orange bike on the market. We've got 29er wheels, nice and fast for rolling. We've got 200mm of suspension on SR Suntour Rux 38 forks at the front and a coil at the back, which I really quite enjoy. It's quite new to me actually because I've just got onto SR Suntour, but I love the kit. Let's talk drivetrain. This has my favorite drivetrain in all of mountain biking, no, in all of cycling. This is the SRAM XO 7-speed. I love it for several reasons. One, super precise shifting. It bangs into gear. It's none of this delicate wincy stuff. And if you get hit with rocks and stuff, it just survives. I love it. And because it's a short cage mech, naturally, it just doesn't float around as much as some of the trail ones. Wheels, we have got the finest downhill wheels on the market, the strongest downhill wheels on the market. And I like using these on all of my bikes. I'm not sponsored by Hope, so genuinely, you can believe me when I say these wheels really are the cream of the crop. They're Hope reinforced, well-hard wheels, plain and simple. Rolling on Schwalbe's finest rubber, Magic Mary, ultra soft compound on the front and soft compound on the rear. And just for safety, I put Cushcore in the rear just to provide a bit of safety netting if I should hit any really sharp rocks. My bars. These are 775mm wide. I know that's a really precise number, but I found that that's where I've settled really comfortably. I do have a good reach. I don't understand people that are running 800mm. Doesn't work for me. I like to be nice and precise with my steering. Let's take a look what the Orange 329 has got to go up against today. Here she is, the Orange Switch 6, the first official mullet bike, mixed wheelbase from Orange Bikes. I love this thing. This is my everyday bike. I use it for everything. I use it for cross-country, long training rides, and I do take it down some downhill tracks that I probably shouldn't, but I love it. Let's recap. We got a 29 at the front and 27.5 because it is mullet, mixed wheelbase, moulet, whatever you want to call it. We've got 160mm of SR Suntour Duralux 36mm at the front, and a nice coil 145mm on the back. It is very short travel on the back of this bike, but that's another reason why I like it, because I've got so much movement with the back end and I can just lift it up really easy without going deep into the travel and having a lot of work to lift up the back end. These wheels have not been the strongest over the years, and I've gone through a few of them. It's the Stans no tubes. That's just an honest fact for you. We're rolling on a different tyre setup, and I think this could manipulate the test a bit, which I think is a bit unfair, but it is as the bikes are set up. I haven't modified anything to do this video. So, Magic Mary, ultra soft compound on the front. That is the same as the downhill bike, if you remember, but on the back, this is the biggest difference. It's a Hans Dampf, which is a trail tyre. It is super gravity casing, so it's a bit more supportive in terms of hitting with the rocks, but it's not going to give me that grip on the back end that the downhill bike is going to provide with a Magic Mary. Drivetrain, I'm running a Shimano 12-speed XT, and many of you know my opinions on these things already. I do love having 12-speed, you know, who doesn't? You've got a massive ratio there and it's fantastic, but these mechs are very fragile. I went through 6 of them last year. If they touch a rock, they just bend, explode, and all the rest of it. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at Shimano, I'm really not. At the end of the day, you look at the size of this thing and how much longer that mech is compared to a downhill equivalent. So of course it's a bit more fragile, but I've got more range on the pedaling. So surely I've got a bit of an advantage on this bike. Let's see. In the cockpit, even narrower on my bars on this, I run 760mm on an alloy handlebar. I hate carbon fiber. Loads of people know this. I just don't think it has a place in the mountain bike world. And I know that's a very strong opinion, and it is only my opinion. I know there's lots of companies out there providing some amazing things in carbon fiber, but when it comes to handlebars, I think you are utterly off of your rocking chair if you choose to ride with carbon handlebars. I've seen so many people snap them over the years, and that's got to be one of the most scary crashes if you imagine your handlebars snapping and you just putting your face or your chest into the stem. That terrifies me. So alloy handlebars, I love the Renthal fat bars, a little bit of a rise, 20mm rise on them, but 760 on my trail bike, so much, much narrower. Dropper post, bike yoke, 180mm, love this thing. It doesn't need any servicing, it just works, it's cable operated. I've used these for a couple of years now and I love them, and I really hope I can keep using these for years to come. Right, enough of me rambling on. Let's just get changed, get up on the mountain and just find out which is faster. Place your bets now, do it now. Let's do this. So fast on the pedals. I was on the edge. That was on the edge. Gears. Silly Shimano gears. Whoa. Downhill bike was way more planted through there. Highlight. Oh, that felt good, but the clock doesn't lie. I don't know what pace it was. The biggest difference is running Shimano 12-speed gears, which I don't want to say too many bad things about, but they just don't compare to a downhill gear system. Now, whether that's SRAM or Shimano, I'll let you guys make up your minds, but I run a SRAM 7-speed drivetrain on the downhill bike, and shifting is fantastic. I don't use the Shimano one. I don't know, maybe it's as good, but I love the SRAM shifting on 7-speed. Shimano on 12, and this is a new mech. I seem to go through mechs like, a Shimano 12-speed, I think I did 6 or 7 last year. They just have an accident and boom, they go. And it's probably because they're so long in the cage, there's more to get damaged There's more to actually hurt on it, whereas there's not really on the SRAM dude. Okay, downhill bike. Do the community proud. Clean bike fast at the start. Come on. Brakes aren't up to temperature. The gear shifting on this is so much better. I'll tell you one thing, this bike feels better. Good trail bike. Here we go. Fast section. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that felt nice. It felt a lot faster, but the clock doesn't lie. Place your bets. I love this bike. It's an absolute weapon. Oh yeah. The blue tape is just for my microphone. Ignore that. I've got one on me as well. Okay guys, moment of truth. I'm here with the computer, analysing the data on Strava. So this is being used by the Wahoo Rival Element Watch, which is giving me accurate GPS data that I can then analyse on the computer. On here, it's very hard to share my screen. I'm not techie enough to be able to do that yet with you guys, but I can just read it out from here. So, this is quite unbelievable to be honest with you, and I didn't guess this was gonna happen. The Switch 6 that went out first did a 3-minute 12 lap, which is about right for me if I'm going at full pace down that track. My record on there is 3:07, so a few seconds out, but hey ho. The downhill bike, the orange 329, I feel like I should have a drum roll now, did it in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So the downhill bike is 3 seconds slower. I'm sad because, you know, the truth is I wanted the downhill bike to win, and I thought it actually might, because in the top section it felt way more planted to me, it felt way more controllable, but it just proves that the drag from pedaling, it costs you that little bit much on a track which, this is my downhill track, but has a lot of pedaling required in it. So yeah, the trail bike was faster. If you went to a more hardcore track, the downhill bike would be faster. But it was a fascinating test, and I'm a little bit sad that the downhill bike didn't win. But credit to the Switch 6, it's an immense bike and it shows just how good that trail bike is. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to check out last week's video, which should be popping up in one of those corners right about now, where you can win my e-bike. That is still going on. We still haven't chosen a winner yet because, well, watch the video and you'll find out why, and one of you guys will win that eventually. So make it happen now. See you on the next video.